Well, March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, so we wanted to educate you, let you know about the signs and symptoms of colon cancer and what you need to know to stay healthy. I want to introduce Dr. Jeffrey Goldman with Digestive Health Associates in Traverse City to talk about colon cancer. Dr. Goldman, we were talking earlier that colon cancer actually used to be number 2 as far as leading causes of death with cancer.
Correct.
And it's now at number 3, which is a positive sign.
A very positive sign, and it's all because of screening and the public awareness and the importance of screening over the last 20 years. The main goal of all of the GI societies, cancer societies, has been to encourage screening, mainly through colonoscopy, which is a preventive type of screening test where we can not only detect precursors of cancer, we can also remove them. And by doing that, we've significantly impacted the disease and decreased the incidence.
That's amazing to know that, something that, by simply being proactive about this, especially when it comes to risk factors or if you have that family history, one way to try to stay on top of things is to go for the colonoscopies. Now, to kind of break it down, first of all, who is at risk for colon cancer?
So actually everyone is at risk.
Okay.
So there's an equal incidence between men and women. It is recommended that everyone over the age of 50 have a baseline screening colonoscopy.
Okay.
A new recommendation is the African American population start that screening at age 45.
Okay.
Now there are special subgroups where screening should start earlier, and you've just mentioned a few. Family history is very important. Family history of colon cancer, colon polyps. Family history of chronic inflammatory conditions of the colon, such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis.
That could lead to colon cancer.
It's just a higher incidence, not only in the person who has that illness, but also in family members.
Okay.
There are certain polyposis syndromes where people are at higher risk of developing polyps over their life. And screening in those populations could be as early as 40, sometimes even earlier.
Okay. Now, let's use me for example. My mom is a stage 4 colon cancer survivor. I did lose my grandpa on my dad's side to colon cancer, so I've got both sides of the family. Someone my age, I guess, when should you start going for colonoscopies?
I would recommend, in your case, at age 40, have your initial screening colonoscopy, and every 5 years after that, because of your significant family history.
Okay.
A normal risk patient would start at age 50, and if they had a negative exam with a good preparation, it would be a 10-year follow-up.
How does colon cancer develop?
Colon cancer develops from colon polyps.
Okay.
Polyps are benign growths of the colon. So the reason we do screening is that there's usually a long interval between an initial polyp developing and then growing and transforming into cancer. So it gives us a number of years where we can find that polyp and actually be able to remove it during the colonoscopy exam.
Okay. And speaking of colonoscopies, coming up in just about 10 or 15 minutes, Holly's going to sit down and talk more with Dr. Goldman about how colonoscopies work, why they are so critical to preventing colon cancer. So definitely stay right here for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Goldman.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Taking Good Tuesday morning, Northern Michigan, it is 6:49, and it is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. So I want to introduce again Dr. Jeffrey Goldman. You are a gastroenterologist at Digestive Health Associates in Traverse City. And we're talking all about colon cancer. And one of the things that people are wondering is how common actually is it? How often are you seeing it in patients?
Well, when you look at the statistics, you have a lifetime risk of about 1 in 20 of developing colon cancer. And when you look at polyp detection studies, the rates range, but it's approximately 20 to 25% in men and about 15 to 20% in women of developing that benign or non-cancerous growth, which is what we screen for and try to remove at the time of colonoscopy.
And there are some risk factors that are hereditary. You can't really do anything about it. But what are some risk factors that we have a little bit of control over?
So there are a few modifiable risk factors that we've found. Obesity, sedentary lifestyle, diets high in red meat, smoking, alcohol use. These are things that have been associated with a higher risk. A few things that have been associated with a lower risk include aspirin use and nonsteroidal use, but their regular use in prevention is not recommended because there's a much higher risk then of developing gastric ulcers, which can lead to bleeding. So only in higher risk populations are those sometimes recommended.
I mean, obviously, getting your colonoscopy is very important. We talked all about the ages of when to do that. And a lot of people, maybe they put it off because they're worried they're not going to like it, it's going to be invasive. Right. Kind of give me a quick run-through that it's really not that scary.
It's only scary to think about. What a colonoscopy is an examination of the colon with a long tube that has a video camera on the end. And for the procedure itself, people are sedated, and most people wake up and kind of look around in the recovery room and say, when are we going to get started? And the main issue is the preparation the day before. It involves a clear liquid diet and then drinking a solution to purge the bowel. But those have also improved over the years. It's no longer the huge gallon jug that everyone dreads. Right. Most preps are much smaller now. We're giving those in a split dose fashion, so you take half the night before, half the morning of. So they've become much more tolerable, and it's just very important though. When you look at the number of people who are estimated to develop colon cancer this year, which is about 140,000 people, wow. The number of deaths that are estimated to be 50,000, and to realize that half of those could be prevented if we were to do colonoscopy on the population in general. Just night and day.
Right, absolutely right. Thank you again so much, Dr. Jeffrey Goldman. It is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. If it's time for you to go and you haven't done it yet, another words of encouragement to get out there and have it done. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.